It's a good idea that Squishy does go and grab that corner boost because it effectively starves LJ. Also, this idea is reinforced by Wonder Mike cheating up with Squishy because if Mike had gone for boost, then maybe grabbing that corner boost might be a little bit risky since there would have been a big distance between him and Squishy. This is a really good touch by Squishy. I know many GCs and lower would love to just flip into this ball and take it up the wall and go for some sort of aerial play. However, as you can see, LJ is already ready for that kind of play, so if he were to do that, it would be easily intercepted. Here, I want you guys to pay attention to Squishy's movement. He doesn't try and 50 this ball. He knows that if Astro hits it, he can intercept the ball on the wall, and if he tries a demo chase, then he can dodge it. This is really smart by LJ. He fakes the challenge and positions to intercept the pass to Mike. However, Squishy notices this and doesn't pass. Instead, he keeps control. It just shows you the level of awareness that these top level pros have. Normally in this position, if there are two opponents back, you normally want to position behind your teammate. As you can see, Mike is positioned quite centrally. The reason for this is because Squishy is going to go for a flick. When you go for a flick, naturally the challenge is likely going to be volatile and the ball is going to be moving really quickly. So you want to be spaced at quite a distance away to cover for that kind of speed. However, if the ball was on the floor and Squishy was dribbling the ball on the floor, then Wonder Mike would have had to been a bit closer since the challenge would have been a very slow 50. Here you can see Squishy turning towards the 50 that's about to happen mid-air. Whenever a 50 is about to happen, you want the nose of the car to be pointing towards where the 50 is going to happen. The reason for this is that if the 50 becomes a stalemate, then you're already going to be heading towards that direction. And if your mate wins the 50, then it's easier for you to track the ball and chase after it. Of course, a lot of this will depend on how much you trust your mate's 50. If you feel like your mate's 50 is consistently not that great, then you might want to be turning slightly away from where the 50 is about to happen, just in case they get beat on the 50. Here, I want to mention Mike's position on the map. He just spent a good amount of boost going for that aerial. However, he still stays in the play because he knows a 50 is about to happen. And if Squishy can get any kind of beat on this 50 or a stalemate, then it becomes an open net. He doesn't leave the play. He doesn't go and get boost even though he knows he's low on boost. This is really, really important to ranking up. Here, this is typically the kickoff where many players tend to get boost instead of cheating up. However, as you can see at the pro level, they all cheat. Pretty much every single kickoff, they cheat. Obviously, at the low ranks, kickoffs are not that consistent, so going for boost seems to be the, let's say, the safer option. However, cheating tends to be the best play in all circumstances. Here, Squishy takes a controlled touch. At the low ranks, I would say around Champ, you should not be shooting this ball as it will get saved and you will just lose possession. However, if you're Diamond or below, then taking a shot might be okay. You could probably score. However, I would probably still suggest you to take a touch to work on your flicks perhaps, and that could still be a good option too. But in this specific situation here with Squishy and Mike, I do believe the best play would have been an insta pass to Mike. As you can see on the map, there's a lot of space for Mike to take a really good shot if Squishy did an insta pass. Squishy notices the pass now, but it's a bit too late since LJ is going to get back and make the save. We've all heard the common phrase boost over ball, right? But there's a checklist that you can kind of go over in your mind as you're attempting to get boost, which is number one, is there going to be a direct threat with you getting boost? If the answer is no, all right, that's good. Number two, does getting boost entail you leaving the play? If the answer is no, then yes, you can go and get boost. If the answer to both of those questions, or even one of those questions, is yes, then you're better off getting pads instead. If you look at this example here, Squishy is going for mid boost. Is he leaving the play? No, not really. He's still in the play. Is there going to be a direct threat in him getting the boost? No, because the ball is in the corner. So this tells you that getting boost here is okay. This is really good positioning by Squishy. He can see that both noses of Mike and LJ are pointing towards Astro, meaning that if they 50 the ball right now, it's likely to ping towards where Astro is. This is why Squishy's nose is pointing towards Astro, getting ready for a 50 to potentially go in that direction. And once Squishy sees that Mike is covering the right side of the 50, meaning that it will not ping towards Astro, this gives the cue to Squishy to now push up and potentially try and collect the ball. Good pass and a good shot. It catches Astro off guard. Here, I feel as though Squishy could have gone and taken LJ's corner boost over here while letting Mike go and get the other corner boost. But instead, he decides to go for the left corner boost, which I'm not sure why. Maybe he thought LJ would have gotten there first, or maybe LJ would have demoed him. I'm not sure. Okay, here, this decision by Squishy does surprise me a little bit. I'm not too sure why he turns into the ball here, because it's quite obvious that Mike was going for this ball. I think what he had to do was just grab the boost and then kind of just turn anti-clockwise towards the net and maybe wait for a pass or any kind of opportunity. Here, I just want to make a note of Astro's rotation. As you can see on the map, he actually rotates all the way back into the play. He doesn't go back post, he goes right into the play and attempts to get some sort of involvement in the play, whether it's to get the ball or to try and demo. Yeah, I think I would have preferred Squishy to maybe grab one or two pads and just stay next to Mike as he gets contested by Astro, just to be on the safe side. Here, he opts to go for boost instead. Maybe at the pro level, he trusts that Mike won't lose the ball here. Plus, LJ does get demoed, so the direct threat isn't really there. So maybe leaving the play isn't all that bad. Really good 50 by Squishy here. He didn't panic flip, which would have rendered him stuck in animation, so that was a really good decision by Squishy here. This is a really great demo on the way back by Squishy to relieve some pressure. I know many of you, or maybe some of you guys, really hate demos, but honestly, it's the best way to relieve pressure and it is the best way to create space. It doesn't mean you just go and chase people down without thinking about where to position yourself, but if you can kind of get the craft of demoing into your game, it will help you rank up a lot. Here, Squishy notices LJ hard challenge, but then at the last second, LJ turns away, which then makes Squishy go into a single jump potential 50. The point here that I'm trying to make is to demonstrate just how sensitive these top players are when it comes to car movement. They hardly look at the ball, they pay attention to what the cars are doing, which at the lower ranks, it's quite the opposite. They tend to focus on the ball a lot more and not on what their opponents are doing. Okay, so this entire sequence, I'm not really sure what's going on. Squishy goes for the wave dash touch, a bit of a mistouch. Mike goes up, which I'm not too sure why. So yeah, I'm not too sure what happened here. I could probably nitpick some explanations, but I don't think it's really worth it. It's probably just a bit of a random play. Squishy can see that Mike is not back yet, so he has to play this slow. Knowing where your mate is key to knowing when you should and should not challenge. Now he can go, because as you can see, Mike is back. Yeah, I want to briefly mention LJ's rotation. He doesn't get mid boost, so he goes all the way back for their corner boost. But the reality is, he would have been a lot more efficient if he had grabbed all those pads, as you can see that's being lined up right now, and this would have kept him closer to the play instead of leaving Astro by himself. Good right stick movement by Squishy. It's really good to start practicing those once you start hitting GC or even lower perhaps. Good positioning by Squishy since the ball is moving relatively fast here. An oversimplified way to kind of figure out the distance at which you should be positioning is relative to how fast the ball is traveling. So if you can see that the ball is traveling really fast, then you want to be at a bigger distance. But if you can see that the ball isn't traveling that fast, then you want to close the distance down. I say this is oversimplified because you still need to take into consideration the speed of the cars. If the ball is moving slow, but the cars are moving fast, then you might have to maintain a neutral distance or maybe even a big distance. In this situation, I believe Squishy should be turning towards Mike here simply because both Astro and LJ are not moving that fast, the ball isn't moving that fast, and by turning away from Mike, I do believe it creates too big of a distance between him and his teammate, but I don't think it's a critical mistake or anything like that. Squishy gets close to the play here because he doesn't want to get played on if he gives them too much space. And also pay attention to the type of 50 that Squishy commits on this challenge. It's really interesting. In fact, pause the video here and type in the comments what kind of challenge you think Squishy is going to do. Is it going to be a single jump challenge, a flip challenge? Type what kind of challenge you guys think it was going to be. And as you can see, it's a single jump challenge because a flip challenge would have been potentially really bad as it would have kept them stuck in animation. Really good pre-jump by Mike here. This is something you should be implementing if you are around the champ and GC range. A lot of players just tend to let people go up the wall and whatnot. So here you should be trying to pre-jump as much as you can to stop the opponent from getting a pop or some sort of aerial play if possible. Again, really good demo by Squishy. Plays the pads, gets close to the play, really good. Here, I'm not sure why he turns away from Mike since Mike has clear possession of the ball in the air. Maybe he thought that Mike was going to get pre-jumped or aerial challenged really hard, so he decided to turn away just in case. So here, as you can see, this was my point about why Squishy shouldn't have turned away when Mike was in the air. Because as you can see right now, there's too big of a distance between him and the ball. And had he turned towards the play, he would have had a really good shot on net. As you can see, LJ even goes for a Squishy save here because he thinks that Squishy is close, but doesn't realize that he is not. I think Squishy should have chased LJ down here and maybe try and demo to help out Mike. Or maybe he thought that Mike could just deal with this situation himself. This is a weak pass by Mike, which puts Squishy in a very awkward situation in terms of whether he should go or not. He does opt to go, which I believe in hindsight he shouldn't have, but it is what it is. Here, Squishy positions centrally because it's effectively a 2v1, but once LJ turns on the ball, he will turn back to cover net just in case. Okay, so this is a bit of a misplay by Squishy, but it's a very understandable one. Here, he didn't want to take it up the wall because that would have been the obvious play, and he might have been afraid that someone would have already pre-jumped him or gone up the wall and stopped him from doing some sort of aerial play. So he takes a touch towards midfield. However, unfortunately, none of the players are going up the wall, as you can see on the map. So yeah, here it just became a bit unfortunate that the ball is heading towards Astro right now. Here, I strongly believe that Squishy should have definitely played pads here. I do think there was an opportunity that if he played pads here, he would have had a chance to score had Mike given him a pass as soon as possible, since LJ does not have boost and is scurrying back for that corner boost. She played a safe distance here simply because Mike is coming down off an aerial, and receiving a challenge off an aerial can be very unpredictable to read in terms of where the 50 is going to go. So better be safe than sorry. Plus the fact that they are winning by 3 goals, so there's no need to push up so aggressively here. Really good control and vision of LJ. LJ expects Squishy to take it up the wall. Squishy notices this and takes a sharp controlled touch towards midfield. This is a really good challenge by Mike here. A good cue to challenge is whenever you see your teammate in a shadow position but they're kind of driving slow and the distance between them and the opponent is close. It's often pretty good to intervene between them and try and snatch the ball off the opponent. This is especially the case if you're rotating back and you want to get back into the play. This was usually a good opportunity to intervene. Once again, paying attention to the cars, Squishy notices that LJ is up, so he immediately cancels his aerial and drops down. At the low ranks, I've seen replays where players don't notice the cars, so they just up and up and up, and then they double commit, or they simply just get beat to the ball completely. Just a quick mention of Mike's rotation. As you can see, he rotates through mid through the pads and does not rotate long through back post and behind Squishy. This is really important to notice as you want to get back to the play as soon as possible. However, please do know that getting back to the play through the quickest path possible will put you in awkward positions and awkward situations. And the best way to overcome that feeling of awkwardness is to improve your mechanics as much as possible. Here you can see that Squishy gets pretty aggressive here and he closes down the space between him and Astro, even though he knows that he will never be able to touch the car or even touch the ball. So why does he do this? The easiest answer is that he's trying to show presence, he's trying to create tension, and he's also trying to create pressure. Squishy turns towards the play here even though he only has 25 boost, because he's waiting to see if Mike will win the challenge here, because if Mike does win the challenge then it leaves an open net. He doesn't leave the play and get boost, he waits and sees what's going to happen. Good save by both players there. There's no analysis here for the last 20 seconds or so I want to end off by saying that thank you for the support. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. It was a bit of a lengthy one, but I tried to change up the format and whatnot, so I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.